登録して。
Car D Kaizoku.
This video is sponsored by Nen Garden. Check out their new exclusive Joker playmats, now available for pre-order in full color and one in sleek black and white at nengarden.com. Use NEN15 for 15% off your first order, plus apply my affiliate code Kaizoku for an additional 5% on top of that. That's right, that's 20% off your order. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. Discover the latest OP10 deck list on gumgum.gg, updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1,000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. Alright, we're going to be doing a curve analysis for Starter Deck 21 Red Luffy. I know I was going to do these for the OP10 leaders, but I had decided to wait until all the cards were revealed, and then by the time that happens, the set comes out in a couple days after that. So I think I kind of have to do these a little early if I want them to be like out at all. So we're going to do Starter Deck 21 Luffy a little early. There's only a couple cards revealed for the... It's not a starter deck. Technically it is, but it's like it's similar to freaking Starter Deck 10. Right? The Red Purple Law, Red Purple Luffy, and Red Purple Kid. Power level of that kind of starter deck. I forgot the name of the product, but editor, put it on screen. So yeah, we're just going to be taking a look at the first or second curve with this leader, and then some of the interesting card choices you have in the deck, because actually I kind of like went through it as an exercise and actually realized it's pretty strong, to be honest. And yeah, just to preface the video, this video is as of December 7th. It's all the cards revealed as of now. If they reveal any cards after this, of course, there could be new lines of play that are more optimal than what I'm going over in this video, so do take it with a grain of salt. December 7th, that is the cutoff date for the information that I have available for this video. So yeah, let's just go over the leader because it's in Japanese, so I'm going to have to throw a translation on screen. So Starter Deck 21 Monkey D. Luffy is a mono red leader with 5,000 power and 5 starting life. It's a 4 Emperors and Straw Hat crew type leader, and his leader ability reads Dawn times 1, activate main once per turn, give up to one of your characters up to 2 rested Dawn. So this is very similar to the Starter Deck 1 Luffy. And to be honest, this entire starter deck just feels like a power crept version of that starter deck, plus some OP01 cards. But yeah, so instead of 1 rested Dawn that you have access to with the old Luffy, now you have 2, but you do need to have 1 Dawn on this Luffy himself already to begin with. But we'll just see how much pressure that actually can provide you, right? It's like 2 extra 1,000 power that you have access to every turn out of nowhere. So I would like to go over the even curve first, because I think that one is more kind of like control-y, right? I want to try to go for like a more control style going even, just to see how it works. So on your first turn, you'll have 2 Dawn, right? So we'll ramp 2 Dawn, and we'll tap 1. And I'll just tap it like so. And then we could play Nami that way. Search for a Straw Hat type character or event or whatever Straw Hat type card in your deck. You can't search another Nami though, so be wary of that. There are multiple Namis in this deck. So you'll find whatever missing piece you need. Oh dang, I'm gonna have to like rotate each Dawn. Okay, just assume that the Dawn is rotated later. Right, I'll just denote it. I'll separate it like this. So our 1 Dawn turn is a Nami, and then we pass, and then it's your opponent's 3 Dawn turn. They'll do whatever 3 Dawn thing they want to do. Right, they could play like a 3 drop and then attack you for 5. You could take or something. Goes to your 4 Dawn turn. So here is where you could play Robin for 3. So you have 1 Dawn left over. Well, I'll just move the 3 Dawn here. And what Robin does is, so 3 costs 4k power, and then Dawn times 2 when attacking, k up to one of your opponent's characters with a power of 4,000 or less. So basically, yeah, power crept version of the OP01 Robin. Exactly the same stat line, but she can kill a 4k instead of a 3k, but she does need 2 Dawn to do this. But at this point, we're just setting up. So you could just swing with your leader for 6 at this point, because you're not going to attack with the Robin yet. There's the 6k at your opponent, and then it goes to their 5 Dawn turn. They do whatever they do, and it's your 6 Dawn turn now. So 6, and this is assuming your Robin lived. If it's against like a black deck, there's a chance that Robin could die being a 3 cost, but we're just going for the situation where Robin is still on board. So on your 6 Dawn turn, what you can do is play this old guy, you remember him? OP04 Zoro. On play, he gives minus 2k to something. So you play him for 5, that's 5 Dawn gone. Then you put Dawn on leader. And And then you could put 2 Rested Dawn onto this Robin with Luffy's leader ability. So 2 Dawn goes here. The 2 Dawn that you used to pay for the Zoro, or 2 of the 5. So you get minus 2k to something. If your opponent played a 3-drop, it's probably going to be like a 5k power max. It's a 3k power right now. You can attack with this Robin for 6, it'll kill it, and then you attack with your leader for 6. So that's 2 6ks at your opponent. And you just killed whatever they played out, hopefully. So yeah, pretty big tempo turn. You have 3 characters out, and your opponent either has like a searcher out or nothing out at all. So it passes to your opponent, passes back to you, so you're on 8 now. So 2 more Dawn. And by this point, yeah, since your Robin was tapped, she's a 4k, she probably would have been attacked into, at least like a 6k or something. So we'll just assume she died. She killed something, that's all the usefulness we're going to get out of her. So 8 Dawn turn, we could play for 5 Dawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The starter deck 21 Luffy. So what he does is, he's a 5 cost 6k power character, he has rush, and then when he does attack, you can put a Rested Dawn on your leader, or a character. So there's the 5 Rested Dawn that we used to pay for Luffy. So what you would do is, you put 2 Dawn on your leader or something, and then, you could do like a Dawn on the Luffy. So let's say you swing with Luffy first for 7, your opponent takes or defends the 7, you could put one of your Rested Dawn onto the Zoro, and then you swing with your leader for 7, they'll do whatever, and then you use leader ability to put 2 Rested Dawn, you can put that on Zoro, and then Zoro can swing for 9, so you could do like 7, 7, 9, and this is on your 8 Dawn turn, all at once too, or you could maybe put Dawn on the Nami to attack for 5 instead, but yeah, maybe 7, 7, 9 is better. And yeah, both of these are tapped. They're at 6k, so it's a little easier to defend than your leader, so you might have the counter to spare to protect them. So let's say you do expend all your counters, since we're going aggro, right? You want all your characters to live. So it's your opponent's 9 Dawn turn, passes to you. It's your 10 Dawn turn now. So here's all 10 Dawn. Wait, am I missing one? 1, 2. Oh, it's right here. 10 Dawn turn. So from here, yeah, you just play your late game. I do think you kind of have to go for like a late game style kind of play. Right, so you play like Rayleigh or Newgate or Shanks. Because if you did go wide, like the thing with this deck, which sets it apart from like a weenie deck, is that like Zoro with the animal engine, every card in his deck like draws you another card to play more characters out. Even with the Curly the Dawn package, it finds 1-drops for you to play and searchers into searchers. We don't really have that in the starter deck 21 support package right now. So I do think it is play a big thing every turn and then swing with it for a big number. And yeah, from this point on, you just play your late game and then attack with whatever characters you have with whatever spare Dawn. And then anytime you put Dawn on leader, you have access to 2k more power, right? So I think, I don't know, to me, it sounds really strong. A lot of pressure. It's kind of like Katakuri in a way, right? Katakuri gives you 1 extra power for 1 Dawn. Meanwhile, this Luffy gives you 2 extra power. Right? So if Katakuri can pressure quite a lot, I think that this Luffy should also in turn be quite an aggressive deck. Now the thing is, you do need a character, right? Katakuri on his own can just swing for 7 with his leader. This Luffy needs a character to put the 2 Rested Dawn on, because he can't put it on himself. But yeah, that's like the control way to play the even curve. I also took a look at a more like aggressive kind of curve, going odds. So 1 Dawn we can still play Nami, search for whatever we need to search. Then your opponent's 2 Dawn turn passes back to your 3 Dawn turn. So for 3, we want to play the new Nami, starter deck 21 Nami. So what she does is she's a 3 cost 1k power character. And then basically activate main once per turn. You can give 2 Rested Dawn to one of your Straw Hat type leaders or characters. So yeah, similar to the starter deck 1 Nami, except power crept, you can use 2 Rested Dawn. And at this point, you could put 2 Rested Dawn on your leader. And then technically, you could put like one of this Dawn onto your Searcher Nami, but it doesn't do anything, so we won't. So we'll just swing at leader for 7 on our 3 Dawn turn. Your opponent will definitely take. Passes to your opponent's 4 Dawn turn, and then back to your 5 Dawn turn. So let's go to 5. Okay, so for 5, what we can do here is play starter deck 21 Zoro for 4 Dawn. So what Zoro does is 4 cost 5k power, and then Dawn times 2, he gets rush. And then on KO, you can play a red character with a power of 5,000 or less from your hand, other than another Zoro. And yeah, so what we'll do here is you can put 1 Dawn on leader. This lets you put 2 Rested Dawn onto Zoro. So he has rush and he's a 7k, and then this Nami lets you put the remaining 2 Dawn, so you could, I don't know, put it on your leader or something. So you can attack 7k with Zoro and then 8k with your leader on your 3rd turn, right? Last turn you did 7, this turn you're doing 7, 8. You can see the damage stacks up like insanely high. So that's your turn. This will be rested. You can even let it die if you want. So let's say your opponent attacks into the Zoro. They throw a 7k that you were gonna let him die anyway. So he dies. He lets you on KO cheat out a 5000 base power or less red character from your hand. So an interesting option you could go for is, of course, right, you know, there's the EB01 Kidding Killer. It's 5000 power, so you can cheat him out. Or the OP10 Sanji. Since this is in Japanese, I'll explain what Sanji does. So Sanji just on your own turn gets plus 3k power, and then on KO you draw a card. Right, it's like a glass cannon attacker. So either of these options you can play out with the Zoro. Let's go for the bigger number. So we'll take the kid for this example. Kidding Killer, I mean. So you threw a 7 and then a 7 and an 8. Your opponent may be at 2 or less life cards right now. And if they are, Kidding Killer can attack for 7 on this turn. But let's just reset the Dawn to start the whole turn fresh. So we're at 7 Dawn now, right? 7 Dawn, we could play, how about 5 Dawn for starter deck 21 Luffy that we went over earlier. So what we can do here is, let's say Luffy attacks 6 and then you put Rested Dawn onto himself, right? Because you can do that. So this is a 7k here. And then you'll use the Nami's ability to put 2 Rested Dawn onto your leader. And this lets you put 2 more Rested Dawn onto Kidding Killer with your Luffy's leader ability. So from here you can do like, 9-9, right? So 9 from Kidding Killer, 9 from leader. So 7-9-9 on your 4th turn. That's insane, isn't it? And yeah, and then after that, it's your 10 Dawn turn. So that's back to like same scenario as last time, I think. So most likely they'll probably devote enough counter to, or power to kill Kidding Killer. Luffy probably will survive because he's a 6k. So it's your 10 Dawn turn, just same as before. You could do like Rayleigh or Newgate or Shanks. And bada bing bada boom, you know? So another alternative thing you could do with the Zoro. So let's go back to that scenario. So Zoro dies. One option to cheat out is this Vivi from OP04. If you remember what she does, all she does is give every card with the cost of 3 or more rush. Red characters only, I believe, right? So all your characters in your deck now suddenly have rush because we only run red characters. So this will stay on board as long as your opponent doesn't have a way to KO it by power. Like 7 cost is really hard for them to muster up the cost reduction for. So it's another utility card on top of this Nami that you have on board. So it passes to your 7 Dawn turn now. So for 7 Dawn, you could do something like spend all 7 to play like a Ben Beckman actually, right? So you'll trash one of your opponent's 6k power or less characters. And then VV gives him rush, so you can attack for 7k. You can use this Nami to give 2 Dawn to your leader. And then Luffy's leader ability to put 2 more Dawn onto, I guess, the Ben Beckman. So you can swing 7 and then 9 here. And yeah, you kill whatever they just played. You're attacking maybe into a rested character or into life. They're taking a bunch of life damage here. Passes to your 9 Dawn turn, next turn. And then I'm assuming everything is going to live because 7k is really hard to get rid of. Yeah, we're at 9 Dawn here. So another option you could do for 9 is, if you did, you could play like Silver's Rayleigh, and Vivi will give Rayleigh rush. Give minus 3k to something, minus 2k to something until the end of your opponent's turn. Then you can KO at 3 costs, and then yeah, you have a 7k attack, you have an 8k attack. It's more than that actually, right? Because you have this Nami to put 2 Dawn on leader. We'd have 1 floating now, right? And then Luffy can put 2 Dawn. Let's see, how do we want to split it? 2 Dawn Beckman, and then just the remaining Dawn on the Rayleigh. So 7 from leader, 9 from Beckman, 9 from Rayleigh. So that seems really strong, right? If you debuff something with this Rayleigh, you can kill it. And then another option for the entire 9 Dawn is to play a 9 cost Newgate. So that's all 9 Dawn gone. You can use this Nami to put 2 rested Dawn on your leader. And then leader can put 2 Dawn onto the Newgate. Vivi gives it rush, so you have a 7, 7, then 12, and you can KO a 3k power or less character with the Newgate's Dawn times 2 when attacking ability actually. Actually, this is more than that. This is 9k, right? Because this Newgate on play gives leader Luffy plus 2k until the end of your opponent's turn. So 7 from Beckman, 9 from leader, and then 12 from Newgate and KO at 3k. That also seems really good, right? And then you're a 7k base. It's really hard for your opponent to attack into any of your characters or your leader, so it passes to your 10 Dawn turn. And then for the piece de resistance, is that what you call it? 10 Dawn, you play Shanks. Shanks on play KOs any character with the power of 10,000 or less, and then Vivi also gives him rush. And then again, Nami, 2 Dawn onto Luffy, and then he can put Rested Dawn onto, I don't know, maybe you want to split it, so you put it on Beckman. So on this turn, you could do 7, 9, 10, and then 12. Right, how do you survive against that? But yeah, that all, like, the crux of this relies on this Nami and this Vivi staying on board and alive. So against black, maybe not as easy, but against like green and stuff, I think like this is actually a really valid strategy. Or purple, those kind of colors that don't interact with your board as much, besides like attacking into it. And then another card, the final card I want to go over is this freaking Sanji that kind of ties it all together. So what this Sanji does is he's a 2k, a starter deck 21 Sanji, by the way. He's a 2k counter, 2 cost 3k power, and then on play, you can choose up to one of your Straw Hat crew type characters with a power of 6,000 or more. During this turn, your opponent may not activate blocker when that character attacks. So that means it's kind of like a Diable Jam that's like baked into a 2k counter. That's crazy. It's like super flexible. The caveat is that you cannot use it on your leader. It's Straw Hat crew type characters only. So in this scenario, we see on board we don't actually have any Straw Hat crew type characters that we can attack with unless we want to... Oh, no, these Namis aren't 6k. So you will have to like have developed a 5 cost Luffy at some point. Or I guess if you put Dawn on these Namis to make them 6k, you could make them unblockable, but then that's like what, 11k only? So I don't think that's the play. So yeah, you would hope to have a Luffy or a... Where is he at? The Zoro on board at some point, and it stayed on board. So you play Sanji for 2 Dawn. Let's use this Luffy as an example. So he has unblockable. So Nami puts 2 Dawn on leader, and then you just stack it all onto the character. Is that better? No, they just put everything on the character. What am I talking about? Right, put 2 Rested Dawn onto the character. It's unblockable. You have unblockable 16k swing with this Luffy here. And then yeah, you can still run Diable Jam too on top of this Sanji. This is just a way to like also have it as a 2k counter, so it's not a brick in your hand. Right, it's much more restrictive, but also in a way that you can use it for more than just being a event finisher. You can use it just to save your life. So I like that. That's pretty cool, pretty good for the deck, I think. I'm gonna assume they're gonna print like a high costed Straw Hat character for this deck, higher than 5, or maybe they won't, but I feel like that would tie with this Sanji really well. Right, having like a 9k, 10k attacker that you can stack all the Dawn on, give it 2 Rested Dawn, and then attack unblockable for like 18, 19, 20k. So yeah, that's how I envision starter deck 21 Luffy to be played at the moment. Just from those examples I showed on screen, you're attacking for huge numbers every turn. Right, there's never anything lower than the 7k if you can help it. It's always 7s, always 9s, always 8s, 11s. It's like at some point it overwhelms your opponent. They're not going to have the counter for all of that. They're going to have to rely more on like trump blockers too. Now the thing is, I don't know if you want to like just aggro their face or just control the board. Right, I guess you could go either way. That's the flexibility with this deck. If you feel like your opponent doesn't have much counter in hand, you should go for the life. If you feel like they're gonna like swarm you and you can't like have the counter to stop that, I guess you could like pick off all of his characters, swing 7 over them. It's gonna be hard for them to defend. And yeah, since we're red, we do have to run like radical beams and stuff. We don't have access to Gum Gum Giant because we're not purple. There's also that new freaking OP10 event, Divine Departure. I think that'll be helpful too. Right, let me bring up the cool version of the card. This event here, 1 cost event. What it does is on main, you can use it as main or counter. So on main, you can rest 5 of your Dawn cards and then KO to one of your opponent's 8k power or less characters. So use it as like a bigger jet pistol. And then on counter, you just counter for 3k for 1 Dawn. I feel like this card's gonna be really good for a starter deck 21 Luffy deck. Flexible and searchable by Nami too. Is it? No, it's not. Never mind. Edit that part out. And yeah, that's where I'm at with the deck for now. Right, you could either play control with the Robins and then the Zoros, and then even more power reduction if this Robin stays alive, right, with the building snakes and stuff. Or you could play it more aggro with this Zoro who can cheat out Sanji or Kid and Killer, or this Vivi would be really interesting. Right, we saw this Vivi provide us a lot of value, giving a rush to like characters that KO on play. So Ben Beckman kills something, and then attacks for 7 or 9. Shanks kills something and then attacks for 12. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this deck. I might have to go pre-order it now. It's a lot stronger than I thought, even though it does just seem like a power crept version of starter deck 1 Luffy, and that deck wasn't too interesting anyway. But I mean, the numbers don't lie. So yeah, hope you guys found this helpful. If I missed anything, do let me know. And if this convinces you to buy the starter deck 2, I guess let me know if it helped you. And then yeah, I think I'll do like the green purple Luffy too, because that one seems pretty interesting. And there's like so many existing cards for the deck. But yeah, that's for another video. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you can like, comment, and subscribe if you like this. I guess that's it. Bye.
Card D Kaizoku.